check engine light just popped up, and your OBD scanner shows the dreaded P0420 code. Most people assume it means an expensive catalytic converter replacement, often costing over $1,500. But that's not always true. In many cases, it's just buildup or a sensor issue, and you can test a simple, safe fix before spending a fortune. In this video, you'll see exactly how to diagnose that P0420 code, what causes it, and how a $10 cleaner might bring your catalytic converter back to life. No complicated tools, no risky tricks, just a real-world method that actually works for most drivers. If you've ever seen that check engine light and felt the dread of a repair bill, stick around, this might save you hundreds. Subscribe for more smart, simple car fixes. Understanding the P0420 code. The P0420 code stands for Catalyst System Efficiency Below Threshold, Bank 1, a signal that your car's computer has detected the catalytic converter isn't reducing emissions effectively. It doesn't always mean the converter is bad. It means something in the system is throwing off its balance. Your engine burns a mixture of fuel and air, producing gases that move through the exhaust. Two oxygen sensors constantly measure how clean that burn is. The upstream sensor, located before the converter, monitors the air-fuel ratio and helps the engine adjust performance. The downstream sensor, placed after the converter, checks how well harmful gases are being converted into less toxic emission. When both sensors begin showing similar readings, it tells the engine's computer that the converter isn't working efficiently. Common reasons include carbon buildup, contamination from oil or coolant, worn spark plugs, misfires or rich fuel mixtures that send unburned fuel into the exhaust. Typical signs of a P0420 include a drop in fuel economy, reduced power, or a sulfur-like smell from the exhaust. However, it's crucial to diagnose carefully before replacing the converter, since the problem could be upstream, not the converter itself. In essence, the P0420 code is your car's way of warning you that the engine, sensors, or exhaust system needs attention to restore full efficiency. Why the P0420 code happens. When a P0420 code appears, it usually means the catalytic converter is struggling to do its job. But the converter itself isn't always the root cause. In many cases, something upstream in the engine is sending the wrong mix of gases into the exhaust, overloading or contaminating the converter. One of the most common reasons is carbon buildup. Over time, unburned fuel and oil residues collect inside the converter, coating the catalyst and reducing its ability to break down pollutants. Worn piston rings or valve seals can allow oil to slip into the combustion chamber, where it burns and leaves behind thick soot that clogs the converter's honeycomb structure. Dirty or failing sensors are another culprit. A clogged mass airflow (MAF) sensor can misread how much air enters the engine, causing an overly rich fuel mixture that sends excess hydrocarbons into the exhaust. Similarly, misfires from bad spark plugs or weak ignition coils dump unburned fuel downstream, which overheats and damages the converter. Low quality or contaminated fuel can also create buildup inside both sensors and the converter itself. Even short trip driving, where the engine never reaches full operating temperature, can prevent the converter from burning off deposits effectively. Finally, sometimes the cause is simply age. Catalytic converters have a limited lifespan, typically around 100,000 to 150,000 miles, after which the metals inside naturally degrade and efficiency drops. In short, the P0420 code is rarely random. It's a sign that combustion efficiency, airflow, or emissions control somewhere in the system needs attention. The $10 cleaner test. Before replacing an expensive catalytic converter, it's worth testing whether a simple cleaner can help. Many drivers have reported improvements using fuel system additives designed to dissolve carbon and residue inside the exhaust system. While no product can repair a worn-out converter, some can help restore partial efficiency if buildup is the issue. One of the most commonly used cleaners is Catalytic, a blend of solvents and hydrocarbons formulated to clean fuel injectors, combustion chambers, oxygen sensors, and the catalytic converter itself. The goal is to remove the carbon layer that prevents exhaust gases from properly reacting with the metals inside the converter. Here's a step-by-step way to test it safely. 1. Add the cleaner directly into the gas tank. 2. Fill up with fresh fuel to mix it evenly. Using premium fuel during the test can help burn cleaner. 3. Drive normally for about 15 to 20 minutes. maintaining steady speeds to let the exhaust reach full temperature. This helps the cleaner react with deposits. 4. After 50 to 100 miles, scan the system again to check if the P0420 code clears or if performance improves. The science behind this is simple. Catalytic converters rely on high heat and exposed surfaces to convert pollutants. When those surfaces are coated with carbon or oil residue, efficiency drops. A cleaner helps burn off those layers gradually, restoring airflow and improving reaction rate. It's important to note that this won't fix physical damage, like a cracked converter or melted substrate, but it can often help in mild to moderate cases caused by buildup or contaminated fuel. Think of it as a first-step diagnostic. If the code clears or stays off longer, buildup was likely the culprit. If not, it's time to look deeper into oxygen sensors, air-fuel ratios, or internal weigh. Results and reality check. After running a catalytic converter cleaner through the system, many drivers notice immediate improvements, but it's important to keep expectations realistic. The goal of this test isn't to fix a damaged converter, it's to help remove buildup and restore some lost efficiency. In most cases, you'll want to rescan the system after about 80 to 100 miles of driving. A healthy result is when the check engine light turns off and the P0420 code disappears temporarily or permanently. The OBD data may show improved voltage patterns on the downstream oxygen sensor, indicating that the catalytic converter is reacting better to exhaust gases. Some drivers also report smoother idling, stronger acceleration, or slightly better fuel economy. Small but noticeable signs that airflow has improved. However, results can vary widely. If the converter is physically damaged, melted, or heavily contaminated with oil or coolant, no cleaner will reverse that. In those situations, the P0420 code usually returns within a few days or weeks. That doesn't mean the cleaner failed, it simply means the issue goes deeper, possibly involving a weak ignition system, leaking valve seals, or aging catalytic material. It's also normal for the light to take time to reset. The system needs several drive cycles with normal sensor readings before the ECU confirms that the converter is back within acceptable efficiency limits. The key takeaway: this method can work well as a first diagnostic step, not a guaranteed solution. If it clears the code or delays its return, that's progress. But if the code persists, you'll know it's time to investigate further, rather than replacing parts blindly or wasting money on quick fixes. Quick reminder: subscribe now for quick, reliable car fixes. Top of form: the illegal spacer myth. You may have seen videos or online forums suggesting that a spacer or non-fueler can trick your car's oxygen sensor and make the P0420. While this method might temporarily stop the check engine light, it's important to understand why it works, and why it's illegal in most regions. A spacer moves the downstream oxygen sensor slightly out of the main exhaust flow. Because it's no longer reading the full concentration of exhaust gases, the sensor detects fewer pollutants, and reports that the catalytic converter is working better than it actually is. This fake reading keeps the ECU from triggering the P. However, what's really happening is the computer is being misled, not the converter being repaired. The catalytic converter still isn't cleaning emissions properly. Harmful gases like carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides continue to exit the tailpipe unchecked. This increases air pollution and violates environmental laws in the United States, Canada, the UK, and most other countries. Tampering with any emissions control device, including oxygen sensors or catalytic converters, is prohibited under federal and state environmental regulation. It can also cause long-term problems: incorrect air-fuel ratios, engine misfires, and failed inspections. Understanding how spacers work can help you recognize misinformation online. While they may seem like a quick fix, they only mask the real problem instead of solving it. The responsible approach is to find and repair the actual cause of low catalyst efficiency, keeping your engine clean, efficient, and compliant with the law. Safe alternatives and maintenance. If the P0420 code keeps returning even after using a cleaner, it's time to shift focus from temporary fixes to long-term prevention and maintenance. A catalytic converter rarely fails on its own. It's usually the result of something else upstream. Addressing those causes not only protects the converter but also improves your car's performance and fuel economy. Start with the ignition system. Replace spark plugs and ignition coils at regular intervals. A weak spark or misfire allows unburned fuel to enter the exhaust, overheating and damaging the converter. Next, check the mass airflow (MAF) sensor. A dirty or faulty MAF can send inaccurate air readings, forcing the engine to run rich and dump excess fuel into the exhaust stream. Cleaning the MAF sensor with a proper electronic cleaner every few oil changes can prevent this issue. Oil control is another key factor. Worn piston rings or valve seals can cause oil to burn inside the combustion chamber, leading to carbon deposits that coat the converter and oxygen sensor. If you notice blue smoke or high oil consumption, have the issue checked before it turns into converter damage. Fuel quality also plays a major role. Use top-tier or premium gasoline occasionally, especially on engines with high mileage. These fuels contain stronger detergents that help clean the injectors and combustion chambers. Short trip driving should be minimized when possible. Catalytic converters work best at full temperature, which they only reach after several miles of drive. Lastly, inspect and replace air filters and PCV valves as needed. Clean airflow ensures complete combustion, while a functioning PCV system prevents oil vapors from entering the intake. These simple legal steps don't just prevent the P0420 code, they help your entire engine breathe, burn, and perform the way it was designed to, extending the life of both your converter and your cost comparison and savings. When the P0420 code appears, the first reaction for most drivers is panic, because a catalytic converter replacement is one of the most expensive repairs on a car. On average, a new converter costs anywhere from $900 to $2,000 depending on the make and model. And that doesn't include labor. For certain vehicles, especially those with dual converters or tight engine compartments, total repair bills can reach. Now compare that with a DIY diagnostic and cleaner approach, which costs about $10. That's a small investment for potentially saving thousands. According to multiple independent surveys, roughly 40% of drivers who replaced their catalytic converters later discovered the problem came from upstream issues, such as bad sensors, misfires, or dirty airflow components, not the converter itself. This means nearly half of those replacements could have been avoided with simple diagnostics and maintenance. By testing affordable, safe methods first, like running a cleaner, checking sensors, and inspecting the ignition system, you get valuable information before committing to expensive repair. Even if a replacement is eventually needed, you'll know you made that decision based on real evidence, not guesswork. In the end, smart diagnostics and proper maintenance turn a potential $1,500 problem into a $10 solution, proving that understanding the cause is always the best investment. Final thought. So the next time your check engine light flashes that dreaded P0420 code, don't rush to replace the catalytic converter. Start small, clean the system, check your sensors, and make sure your engine's running efficient. Often the real issue is just buildup or maintenance neglect, not a failed part. By taking these simple steps, you'll save money, extend your converter's life, and understand your car far better than before. If you've tried any of these methods, share your results in the comments. It helps other drivers facing the same code. And if your O2 sensors keep failing or you're curious about what they really do, stay tuned. The next video breaks down exactly why they go bad and how to keep them working perfectly. Subscribe for more smart real-world car fixes that actually work.